the Coldplay just has such a massive fan following and love. Even if we put up another 10 shows, it would just sell out.
For India, this is a massive moment because India has shown to the world that it is ready to host what is arguably the most challenging tour on the planet.
Your hands in the sky, your phone in your pocket, your hands in the sky, your phone in your pocket and your hands in the sky. That's the way we're going to make the whole world fly.
Planning started pre-pandemic, frankly. The band had the ambition of creating the first billion-dollar tour.
For us, of course, we wanted to pull off a tour at the highest global standards. As you know, Music of the Spheres is now the world's largest traveling tour. And we wanted Indian fans to experience that firsthand.
It's obviously taken a lot of years, plus the kind of technology, the kind of build that we need to produce in the country. That's also super important. So it's not happened overnight. Of course, it's taken multiple years to make this and put this thing together.
In other news, British rock band Coldplay is all set to dazzle fans with their much anticipated Music of the Spheres India tour.
We started out as a movie ticketing company, so we were always used to dealing in scale. Movies obviously in India is much larger than the events business today. But I think that held us in good stead on how to handle volumes for mass big movies which used to release, and I think the events ticketing system organically grew out of that. And obviously the demand-supply ratio here is much more skewed, but I think that's how we really scaled our business to handle millions of customers simultaneously.
Any business to progress must cover the entire value chain, whether it's from ticketing all the way up to the end consumer experience. The demand has been insane. I mean, just to let you know that 1.3 crore people logged onto our website, which is 1% of India's population.
This Coldplay concert was the cheapest Coldplay ticket in the world, as far as my knowledge goes, at least. It's not, and there was no escalation in price. We kept it at that price point at all points right till the last minute, because this is a fan's first experience.
I think whether it was doing auto scaling, putting in the queuing system, scaling up our payment system, scaling up our entire CDN, I think it took a lot of effort across teams. And our entire system is microservice driven, so scaling up different parts of the system, whether it was the login part of the system, and that's how we were able to handle the load. And even though there was an issue on the first day for about 15-20 minutes, once we were able to manage that and mitigate that, and that largely happened because of a distributed service attack on our system, but once we were able to mitigate that, I think the rest of the ticketing went off smoothly.
Most excited about the moon goggles and what it's going to show us.
I think the fireworks and the light show.
And all the lights with the wristband.
We're very blessed and fortunate to have, a band of this stature and that scale and size of production to come here. Of course, we had challenges on infrastructure, staging, sound, lights, floor covering, to even get a stadium. This is the first time in the history that we're using a cricket stadium, which is an active cricket stadium with a game in 2 weeks from now, where we've put turf covers and we're using a cricket stadium. And I'm hoping that this will open up more venues in the country.
I mean, I think the thing with Coldplay is it's a machine. This is something that's had, I don't know how many shows it had had by the time it got to us. So the Coldplay team and themselves, they have procedures that they follow, they know what it is. For us, it was new. Coldplay themselves, for them it's like, you know, plug and play, they do it every day. For us it's, you know, yes, we planned it, but we also need to, it's the first time we've executed it. So, and I would say that thanks to the Coldplay team and to the Live Nation team for really working with us to go through our planning, guide us, help us, share their experience. I think that was invaluable.
Look, I think there's, you know, also a couple of rather unsexy things that have happened that are critical to making this work. Before the past couple years, most of the equipment that would have to come for a show like this would have to be flown in or shipped in. It wasn't present in the market, and the cost of doing that on a show-by-show basis makes the profitability of a show like this go from being very profitable to very unprofitable pretty quickly. So investment in staging, in steel and delay towers and barricades, unsexy stuff, but having that in market that's global standard makes the show a lot more profitable and viable.
So usually when tours happen, they build a system of their own. But what happens is they want local support on a lot of stuff. Stuff like sound, light, video, which they don't want to carry, which is heavy, it's more freight, it's more expensive. So we decide to kind of tell them what we have in the country and we give them that to match what they kind of require. You can see that we've got two 14-meter round screens. We're using almost 160 motors here to put up everything. Everything is motorized, everything goes up with motors. We bought our own flooring now, which is the pedestrian flooring, which you see. It's covering almost the entire ground. The drivable is something we use a lot.
BookMyShow જે કંઈ જરૂર પડે એ માટેના સાધનો એ આપવા માટે તૈયારી બતાવી હતી. ફીટમાં પાથરવા માટેના જે હાર્ડબોર્ડ લાયા છે એ બી બહુ સોફ્ટ અને બહુ કોસ્ટલી છે. મને લાગે છે આઉટ ઓફ ઇન્ડિયાથી મંગાવેલા છે અને એ પાથર્યા છે એમને. એટલે એ રીતે સપોર્ટ બધો જ છે.
So these are things that we as Indian production people are learning how to use, how to protect turf, and this will open up all the stadiums for us in the country in the future. You know? We've given them a mix of an L-acoustics and a DNB. So everything you see on stage is DNB, everything you see off stage is all L-acoustics. Lights is again a mixture, it's all Robies, 300, 400 fixtures all across the stage. So there's an extensive technical package that comes with this band.
BookMyShow लाइव ने हमें एक कमिटमेंट दिया है कि हम 2 दिन में ये पूरा इवेंट था उसका जो इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर बनाया हुआ है वो हम डिसमेंटल करेंगे और आपको हैंडओवर करके हम जो भी थोड़े बहुत लुक छूट गए हैं वो हमें मदद करने में मददरूप होंगे.
We have approximately 50,000 capacity here for users, and for 50,000 we have planned no less than 65 turnstiles. So our turnstiles are like each turnstile can easily cater 900 to 1,000 customers in an hour. We have multiple emergencies which we have designed. There is no any barricading, turnstiles, nothing, no interference between. So customers can easily go out. And that's how getting all the crowd evacuate within 30 to 45 minutes.
The crowd management is a very big issue. Inwards movement and outwards movement of the crowd is very important. For that we have to make some changes. For that a lot of policemen, officers and policemen have to be deployed. A lot of roads and emergency service has to be put in the place. And almost 1600 policemen and officers were placed for this event. They were on duty on various junctions, locations, on the road, traffic, parking points and in the ground.
It is really very easy to create a satin band. But you know what is difficult for a customer? To duplicate it. To duplicate this log where we have like BookMyShow's logo. Because for this you need to create a die and everything. And it takes a lot of amount to create a die like this. And other point is like then we have this NFC chip. It is an NFC wristband, NFC tag basically. NFC tag means each NFC tag gets integrated with our backend.
बुक माई शो और जो यहाँ की सिक्योरिटी टीम मोमेंटम है उनके साथ बहुत ही क्लोज कोऑर्डिनेशन था। हमारी जो पुलिस थी वो वॉकी टॉकी पे उनके साथ कनेक्टेड थी, इसके साथ साथ सीसीटीवी कंट्रोल रूम से कनेक्टेड थी। और हमारा जो फीडबैक चैनल है जो ग्राउंड का और ऑफिसर्स का और डिसीजन मेकिंग वो हमारा बहुत अच्छा रहा।
You know, even now for events that are coming up in 5 or 6 months' time, we're already looking at ingress, egress plans and crowd management, which is, you know, there's an awful lot of stuff that has to be built into that. So just essentially it's down to planning.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi has underlined India's scope of live concerts. Addressing the Utkarsh Odisha conclave, PM Modi spoke of India's vast potential as a concert economy.
पिछले कुछ दिनों में आपने मुंबई और अहमदाबाद में हुए कोल्डप्ले कॉन्सर्ट की शानदार तस्वीरें देखी होगी। ये इस बात का प्रमाण है कि लाइव कॉन्सर्ट्स के लिए भारत में कितना स्कोप है। कंसर्ट इकोनॉमी से टूरिज्म भी बढ़ता है और बड़ी संख्या में जॉब्स क्रिएट होती है। कंसर्ट इकोनॉमी के लिए जरूरी इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर पर फोकस करें।
India is really well positioned between having a large demographic and a youth population, a large English speaking population of more than 200 million, 240 million people, with a GDP that's growing more than 8.5%. It's now one of the world's 4th largest economies, and I think there's a lot of expendable income. The infrastructure growth in terms of live entertainment, roads, metros, railway stations, more flights into places, more hotels, will only add to this economy of experience and travel. And I think over the next 10 years, you could see this grow 4 times from where we are. Mr. Harsh Sanghvi, who's the Home Minister of Gujarat, just tweeted, he said at the minimum that there is a 300 crore impact.
It was amazing. Like, it's very hard to pick a favorite moment. Everything was just amazing, I think, yeah.
It felt like we were in paradise.
Our first level of thinking is the consumer journey, and therefore the prep that goes along that. So if we divide it drastically, there's one whole production / artist prep, and then there's the consumer prep. You know, moving a large amount of people from various cities of Mumbai, the large amount of traffic, the already existing traffic that one has to deal with, coupled with the hype of the show itself, that you know, there was so much hysteria around the show. So I think it's been a massive learning, massive exercise. We've had multiple parties, multiple conversations, right from our local police departments to our natural disaster management parties, our medical teams. There's been very in-depth conversations and analysis that's happened on this.
At Coldplay, ticket sales is never a challenge, but the kind of bond and the connection that the fans have with the bands is so strong that as promoters, the onus is on us to pull out all stops and ensure that the experience for the customer is seamless. Almost 75 to 85% customers who came to either Bombay or Ahmedabad were not from the same city, which means that obviously they do not have their own private vehicles. So we partnered with Indian Railways in Bombay, where we added trains that would transcend Western Line, Central Line and Harbour Line, taking people directly to the venue. And right at the station there were shuttles which took people to the stadium. In Ahmedabad, we partnered with GMRC to increase the frequency of metros, because the metro station was literally 200 meters away from the stadium, and they increased the frequency significantly. They had record-breaking passengers on that day, which was more than 4 lakh passengers per day. We partnered with city flow shuttles so that people could have convenient, hassle-free, safe mode of commutation without having to drive. At DY Patil, we had 100% digital and cashless payment solutions on ground for anything that the customer wanted to buy, whether it is food, merchandise. And 30% of the customers, or maybe slightly more than that, were the ones who were first-time concert goers. So we had to educate them on how to use this band, how to use this NFC chip, how to tap it, how to load it with money in advance, and then subsequently how to use it on ground. With crowd as large as this, we had multiple help desks across various spots in the venue so that people could freely reach out to us in case they had any problem, in case there was a lost and found issue, and the team was out there willing to help them. In fact, we had handed over Tag Your Child bands to people who came with kids so that if they happen to lose their kids in the crowd, it would help us identify and find them easily.
The idea was also to provide them the best experience possible from our side, keeping in mind that their entry, exits, food, bars, washrooms, cleanliness, all of that is taken care of. So we've kept in mind that has been the focus for us, that the customers who come in have a great time for those 2-3 hours and also go back safely. I hope that all the customers, we've been able to achieve it, and that the customers have had a great time.
The accessibility to all of these convenience areas, a lounge customer experience versus somebody who's seated versus somebody who's standing. So from a lounge perspective, we've provided a pick up and drop service. Yes. Providing that value for money is something that's been our topmost priority, and we've planned the entire show accordingly for the customers.
I think what I'm really amazed is if you want to put something together of this scale, right? It doesn't just happen from a BookMyShow or an event agency or a event partner's perspective. We needed the entire city's contribution to make the entire concert happen, right? Right from the metro to local police to traffic police to different divisions of police departments like BDS, anti-terrorist crime. Apart from that, we also had partnerships with different stakeholders of the government, including disaster management, AMCs, municipal corporations, to ensure that the entire stadium infrastructure is in place.
This has been the largest deployment for a single event ever in India, and a very able law enforcement force that they have ensured that human resources are deployed in an optimal manner. They've brought in the best of technical resources that they have available to monitor everything from extremely sophisticated control rooms. The traffic has been smooth. The checks have been done extremely empathetically as far as all of the attendees are concerned.
So in a nutshell, I would say that it's about stepping into the shoes of the consumer, understanding their journey and preempting their problems, challenges, and solving for them before they actually become challenged, so that the customer has that flawless experience and he has a memorable night.
At BookMyShow, sustainability is never an afterthought. We've adapted many green practices over the past several years, and with Coldplay, we've just taken it a notch higher. With meticulous waste segregation practices, we have divided the waste into 11 categories, and every waste is considered a resource, and we have reused, upcycled or recycled various forms of waste in various categories.
The LED wristbands are made from plant-based compostable materials. Please return your wristband after the show.
The iconic Big Smog bands lit up every Coldplay night. Crafted from plant-based plastic, they weren't just magical but mindful. Fans were encouraged to return them for reuse, and we collected their batteries in special bins for safe recycling. The result? A remarkable 70% return rate. We literally turned energy into music. installing kinetic dance floors and pedal power cycles that let fans contribute to the power of the show. Every step and every spin added to the experience, proving that sustainability can be fun and interactive too.
So the event basically is broken up into three parts. There's a pre-event production, there's the actual days of the event, and then there's a wrap-up or a post-event production. And I think food and water come right in from load in to load out. So we have multiple teams on ground that make sure that we have sufficient hydration stations plotted across a venue, especially this venue being a stadium. It has multiple touch points. The team has to cater to all of those. We have labor working across the venue. We have vendors working across the venue, and we have our own teams working across the venue. So we need to make sure that all of them have sufficient hydration points and sufficient stocks of water that get replenished across the day. We have specific crew hangars set up for meals with timings. We've worked really hard to minimize wastages. We use our RFID bands and technology to make sure that everybody who has a band gets a meal. We do lunch, dinner, breakfast and evening snacks at the venue. Yeah. So hospitality is a big part of our overall ticket execution. We have various layers of hospitality within the show itself. We've been working on creating multiple tiers of hospitality within the show. Most of the times previously you would just find one general section and one VIP section, but we have multiple layers within the VIP hospitality itself. We have now managed to create lounges, which are either managed by brands or managed by a high-end ticket buyers, for our high-end ticket buyers. In this stadium, there are multiple suites, multiple boxes that get sold to individual groups. So there's specific catering requirements that come in from these groups. So the teams need to look after all of that.
We are very well positioned to emerge as one of the top entertainment destinations anywhere in the world. If you look at just the last few months and what has happened in the country, right? As a company, we've brought not just Coldplay, but as we speak, there is a Cigarettes After Sex tour running. Next week, we start with Ed Sheeran. Then there's Lollapalooza. We just got done with Maroon 5. We had Bandland 2nd edition.
The size of our young population with that kind of income and that kind of outlook, that kind of awareness, things break in India as quick, trends come into India as fast as they do anywhere else in the world. I think our young people are as cool and as aware as anyone else in the world. So music is just moving places.
As the ecosystem gets comfortable coming to India, and then the consumption from the demand side is building as well, you sort of get this period of liftoff for the industry here. It feels like that's where we are now. I think probably more inquiries than we've ever seen to come in the future.
BookMyShow is trusted by the best agents, artists, managers in the world. I mean, fair deals can be done, and you get more and more bands that will play because they know they're going to get what they deserve, and the experience, as Dan was saying, is going to be the same that they would get anywhere else in the world. Those things aren't always, visible to a consumer, but without them, this wouldn't happen.
So our next vision is to go into the space of actually creating some of these entertainment spaces that makes it conducive to come and plug and play and get bands to come and perform. One is the turnaround time becomes much faster, the frequency of doing it is much faster. So we are trying to also create in the main cities of India venues that will accommodate 17 to 18,000 people. But from a technology point of view, they should be plug and play venues. They should be something where a promoter can come in and he can set up within 48 hours maximum and he's ready to roll.
In events like these, because like I say in sailing, you can't control the wind, you can't control the heat, you can't control the tide, you can't control the weather. The only thing you can do is adjust your sails. And I think that's what we do in the live business, that there are so many curveballs and so many twists and turns that all you need to do is keep rolling. And at the end of the day, the greatest barometer or the greatest currency that we have is smiling faces and people walking through the gates and leaving, with memories which they will remember and cherish for the rest of their life.
your show in Mumbai. It's amazing.
It's amazing energy.
Thank you, BookMyShow.
Great show.
Lovely experience.
Yeah. Coldplay! Super excited. I'm so happy they have come to India.
Thank you, BookMyShow.
Without you, I'm crazy. We are made of each other, baby. When you love me, love me, love me. 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 I know I'll be on top of the world.